Old Trafford is the venue, and this is a confrontation with genuine historical significance. As far as this match is concerned, who's going to come out on top between Manchester United and Arsenal? Stay right here on EA TV for all the live action. Well, it's a beautiful day for football. No complaints whatsoever on that front here at Old Trafford. My name is Derek Ray, and ready with his tactics board to provide all the analysis is Stuart Robson. I'm looking forward to bringing you action from the Premier League.
Hello, welcome back to Armchair Armory. I am here, finally, after, well, I know I did a preview, but that didn't go down very well. Wasn't really much traction on that, unfortunately. But yeah, I'm here and I'm back, ready for the new Premier League season, which begins on Sunday. And somehow we've ended up travelling to Man United on the first game of Arsenal season. I put in the headline of this preview, this could be over before it's begun. It's an incredibly tough start to the season. It's been a whirlwind of a summer for Arsenal so far, which if you want to go back and watch my season preview, you can do. You know, at that point we'd made a few signings. We had a bit of a quiet June when the window opened, and during the Club World Cup we had a very, very explosive July with signings of Kepa, Zubimendi, Norgard, Madueke, who came in for a lot of controversy, Gyökeres, Mascara, and so far the business we've done has been pretty good. I still think we need at least one more player, specifically I should say, in the midfield, in the midfield, a left winger. We were linked with Eberechi Eze of Crystal Palace earlier on in the window, but it looks like he's going to go to Spurs now, so we'll have to look elsewhere. I mean, to be fair, he would have been more of a versatility midfielder rather than an out-and-out left winger. Then we've had a mixed pre-season, I'd say. We had 3 pre-season games in Asia, 2 in Singapore, 1 in Hong Kong. Won the 2 in Singapore, beat AC Milan 1-0, beat Newcastle 3-2, and we lost to Spurs. Now, I think the reason why there was a meltdown, and there was a hell of a meltdown after the Spurs result, is because it was Spurs. I was annoyed because of the fact it was Spurs, but I sort of got over it pretty quickly. I was pretty much like, it's pre-season, it doesn't really matter. Like, let them have this one. You know, there was a lot of argument to say that we haven't changed much since last season, that there were signs of similar styles of play from last season, and I could see that in some senses. And then the vitriol got even worse when we came back to London and played our first pre-season game at home, which was against Villarreal, where we lost 3-2. And the goals we conceded in that game, to be honest, were frankly shocking. I don't think I've seen us defend that badly for a very long time. Even at our worst parts last season, I don't think I've seen us defend that badly. I'd just say it's a poor performance, but then again, it's pre-season, isn't it? There's not really much you can say. Like, the results don't really matter. I found it funny that, 3 days later or 4 days later, we beat Athletic Club Bilbao 3-0 in the Emirates Cup in the final pre-season game, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, we look so amazing! Everything that we've asked for has now happened." It's like, okay, really? I've said it before, and I know I've gone about it a lot, and I bang this drum a lot, but the whole moving the goalpost thing is really starting. It has been pissing me off for a while. This idea that, like, we solve one problem, or the club inadvertently solves one problem, and then it's another thing. So at the moment we've got, before the season stopped, before the transfer window, we need to make sure that we replace all the players that are going, and we need to sign a striker, and we need to do this, and we need to do that. We go into the window, the next goalpost that's moved is that we're taking too long, we're going to be left behind. We start buying players, we buy Gyökeres in particular, who everyone's been crying out for, and then it moves to, well, let's see what happens in pre-season. We have 2 games where we're not so great in pre-season. Oh, well, that's it, it's all over. The goalposts move again. Oh, well, yeah, that's it. We're not going to see anything different this season. Nowhere near winning the league, closer to 3rd than 1st, blah, 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 blah. And then, now the next thing, because we played well in that 3-0 win over the weekend, the next thing is now we haven't signed enough players. And it's just like, when is this going to end? And I don't think, to be honest with you, I don't mean to be, what's the word? I don't mean to be pessimistic, but I don't think this is going to end until Arteta's no longer the manager. Because I think that's what it all stems down to. As I've said before, it just stems down to the fact that there's a lot of people in our fan base that don't like the fact he's our manager, that have never liked the fact that he's our manager from the beginning. So we'll move the argument depending on what might be slightly wrong at the time. But on the other hand, to provide a slight bit of nuance to this, the pressure could be on if we don't manage to get anything out of this game against Man United. Now, they've strengthened a little bit as well. They've they've signed Benjamin Sesko, who we were linked with and looked like we were going to go for and sign at the start of the window. And it looked like Gyökeres was going to go to them because of the connection with Ruben Amorim. But it seemed the roles are reversed, Now Gyökeres has come to us and Sesko's gone to them. But I'm not necessarily looking at Sesko because I don't necessarily think he will play on Sunday. The players I'm looking at that I think will be impact players for them will be Brian Mbeumo, who they signed from Brentford, and Matthias Cunha, who they signed from Wolves. I think those guys, with Bruno Fernandes behind them, I think they will be a threat. And the first game at Old Trafford of the season, it can't be another year where they just about get over the line. I think they will put up a fight. And our record there, despite the fact, not last season, but the season before we won there 1-0, it was still very, very difficult. And it was a worse team then, player for player wise. So I'm still going into this with a little bit of trepidation, because if we were playing, I don't know, if we were playing, I don't know, Sunderland first game. Sorry, Sunderland fans, but if we were playing Sunderland first game, I would be nervous because it's the first game of the season and it's very easy to. I always say with these things, start as you mean to go on, and if we. It's less likely that we're going to slip up against a team like Sunderland than we would Man United, especially at Old Trafford. So this is the thing. Like, it's just, it's just scary, put it that way. It's incredibly worrying that somehow we've managed to get Man United on the first day of the season. It's kind of ridiculous. It's kind of insane how we've managed to get Man United on the first day of the season, 4:30 Super Sunday. It just seems very convenient that that's happened. And all of a sudden, on top of that, I mean, I don't think this is part of the conspiracy, but on top of that, you've got potentially Sesko versus Gyökeres on the first day of the season. But yeah, we'll see. Gyökeres scored a really good goal in that friendly against Athletic Club, by the way. So yeah, that to be fair, of what I've seen, and granted, I haven't seen from minute 1 to minute 90 of these pre-season games, but I've seen the highlights, and from what I've seen, Zubamendi and Mosquera are probably the two that. No, Zubamendi and Norgard are probably the two that I've seen enough of to be like, okay, they look like good signings. And Kepa, because of the penalty saves during those penalty shootouts during pre-season. But the glimpses I've seen from Mosquera and Gyökeres have been like, this could go well, This could be this could be the turning point. This could be the catalyst we need to go forward. I stand by what I said in the season preview, that we have no God-given right to win the league. I know we've come close a few times and we were a little bit off last season, but we've got no God-given right to go out there and a God-given right to win the league. We have to go and earn it. And I think, you know, I feel like we've got the squad now, and I agree with the sort of Arteta outers, the Standards FC guys. I agree, or whatever you want to call them. I agree with to some extent. I agree that there isn't much excuse anymore. You know, I'm hoping that we can just purely look at the football, and then we can sort of prove whether, you know, Arteta's the man or not. But I always feel that I saw Tom Canton saying that, and I have to disagree with Tom, because I think it's a very narrow way of looking at things. Like, you can't just say there won't be things that could potentially hinder us winning the league. You know, we thought we were dead on for a lot of us thought we were dead on for it last season, and look how many things got in the way. Injuries, red cards at the wrong time. You know, you never know. That's the thing. All you've got to do is go out there and do your job, and hope there's a few slip-ups from your rivals on the way. And everybody has strengthened. You know, everybody that we're expecting to strengthen, apart from maybe Newcastle, although they've started to sign players that now. I mean, I think even if they lose Isak to Liverpool, I still think that they'll do well to fight for those Champions League / European places. So I don't necessarily believe that they're totally out of it because they lose Isak, despite my friend that supports Newcastle that pretty much thinks they're going to get relegated, or is behaving like they're going to get relegated if they lose Isak. But, you know, Liverpool have strengthened, although I wasn't that impressed with them in the Community Shield on Sunday, because that's the first time I've watched them for 90 minutes, where it's not sort of like highlights or anything. And I thought they look okay going forward. They look about the same going forward. Wirtz is a really good addition, I think, but their defence looks a bit shaky. You know, it's obviously aging with Van Dijk aging and Konate being. I think I said to somebody today at my day job, I said something like, Konate's got, you know, the spoons that you use to spin to mix your coffee or mix your tea, mix a hot drink with for legs. Seems to get injured very, very often. Ekitike scored a good goal, but I don't necessarily think that I think if they get Isak, that sort of changes things. But from what I've seen, I'm not blown away. I'm not sitting here thinking we've got no chance. Same with City. I watched a couple of their games in the Club World Cup. Wasn't that impressed with. I didn't think there was much to write home about. But then again, when the season starts, you never know. Chelsea, same thing. They beat PSG. They won the Club World Cup. Well done to them. But again, we'll have to see. This is why you don't really take pre-season into account, because it's when it gets competitive, that's when you can see. And even after the first game, I mean, if we lose this and there's a meltdown, it just beggars belief, because it's like, it's the first game of the season, guys. Like, we haven't even got started yet. There's no point in like going crazy at this stage. Really and truthfully, there is no point in going crazy at this stage. On paper, we should win this game. I think I said this when I had Steph on my channel before. My friend and Man United fan. When I said to him, like, on paper we should win the game, but I just never know with Man United, and particularly with Cunha and Mbeumo, you know. I mean, I think in both cases, both teams will be in a state of trying to gel together. That's both Arsenal and Man United, but I don't know. First home game of the season for them, new signings, all that sort of stuff. I can just see it being a long evening. If we win, then, you know, that's the first test done. We've got as I said, we've got a really hard few games to start the season. You know, it's crazy. So after Man United, we've got Leeds at home, which you should say should be a winnable game, but they're depending on their result against, I think they're playing City. Oh no, they're playing Everton, aren't they? No, is it Everton? I think they are playing Everton. Yeah, they're playing Everton on Monday at Ellen Road. So depending on that result, let's say for example they drop points to Everton, they'll be well up for coming to us. And again, well, even though in the last couple of seasons we've had a good record against them, there is always that historic thing I go back to with 02-03 when we lost to them 3-2 at Highbury. So then after that we go to Anfield, and that's obviously going to be tough. And then we've got Forest at home, who is another team we struggle against, and then City at home, and then Newcastle away. This organisation really doesn't want us to win the league, does it? Well, it is what it is. There's nothing much we can do about it. It's another game. I know I say this every single season, but this is one I'm going to be watching behind the sofa, or at least watching behind my shirt more than anything. As I always say, I don't do predictions just because I always get them wrong most of the time. I'm also a little bit nervous because I broke the superstition. So where I work, they did like a Premier League launch day yesterday. I'm recording this on the Wednesday, and they did that, and you were encouraged to wear your team's shirt, and I wore my Arsenal last season's home kit yesterday. So I'm just worried that I've now jinxed it, and we are gonna lose to United on Sunday. But yeah, we'll wait and see. We'll just have to wait and see. Hopefully we can get off to a good start. If we can manage to get off to a good start, then the possibilities are endless. But let's see what we look like with these new signings as in a competitive game. We could have another signing by the time we get there, so let's see what happens. Right, I'm going to leave it there. I will be back again after the game on Sunday with my first reaction of the season. Until then, take care and stay safe. And before you go, a message from my newly created AI assistant. So thank you to Google Veo 2 for putting that together. Take care and stay safe.
Remember to like and subscribe, and also follow Dan on social media. All the information is in the description below.
Able to skip past his man. It has to be. And there it is! 2 goals in a matter of minutes. Incredible stuff.
Well, just watch this again. Look how Fernandes beats his man, and Fernandes does the rest. He hits through the back of the ball with such power. What a great finish that is.
Not a scoreline we see all that often. 5-3. Madueke. The cross is on. Oh yes, what a pass. Bruno Fernandes. Could be. There it is. Victory more or less guaranteed now.
Well, just look at how poor the defending is here, but I have to say it's still a very tidy finish. He looked really assured there.
It's a massive lead, and it's very hard to imagine them losing it now. He has teammates around him. Mount. close down the shot. What's the keeper doing here? Veo. Well, what an opportunity, but really good defending, you've got to say. Fernandes. Took a really smart piece of defending to stop them. Chance maybe to use their counter-attacking ability to good effect. Space and time for Arsenal. And there it is, a goal. But will it be purely a consolation at this stage of the proceedings? They haven't been at their best.
Well, as you can see, this is absolutely brilliant. He's such a good runner with the ball, and it's a great individual goal. Brilliant from him.
Veo. Šeško. Nicely timed tackle. Benjamin Šeško. Played into the box. Well, there was impending danger, but good defending. The final whistle, and the Gunners go down. They've lost this game. No points picked up. What did you think of it?
Well, Derek, they weren't at their best today, both as individuals and as a team, and they didn't deserve anything from the game. Need a much better display next time out.